So you actually wrote that one girl looked like she was hurting for a squirtin'? Welcome in to the Bro 4 Squad podcast, where we are just a bunch of bros drinking beer and talking movies. This is episode 241. I'm your host, the Mayor, Jeff Hornacek. Thank you guys so much for joining us with a special episode tonight as we get closer to the end of our Movie Madness tournament this year, which is the 2000's Comedies Movie Madness tournament. Before we dive into that and the rest of the movie discussion, though, we have to go around and meet my fellow bros. We begin with the American hero, Nate Thurmond. Nate, what is the best April Fool's prank that you've either seen or yourself have pulled off?
Man, that's a great question. I've got to go back.
It's probably been a minute. Did your high
roll...
school have like a big group of pranksters that would, I don't know, steal the principal's wallet?
No, I'm trying to think. Actually, there was, I wasn't a part of this, but I do remember an 8th grade teacher telling us one time that there was April Fool's prank called on her. It's actually kind of fucked up. She actually worked at the middle school, but her kid was in high school, and like one of the high school teachers or someone like called and said like something happened to their kid, and she like ran over there and ended up being April Fool's. I was like, that's really
not
messed up.
And
no,
for an adult to do that to another
adult,
adult.
I was like, that's really not cool. I was like, damn, that's the most fucked up one.
So the prank is you're an asshole.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not actually as a joke. You're really an asshole.
It's like, you don't mess with people's kids like that.
Really funny. Good job, man.
Yeah.
Next, we go to our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycli. Now, Ronnie, speaking of April Fools, legally speaking, I don't even know why I'm asking this because I know that I'm correct. That date, April 1st, essentially works like the purge, right? You can't legally be held accountable in the court of law for anything that you do or any pranks you pull on that day.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the sound legal advice. Do whatever you want on April 1st. And I will definitely not take in the benefits of having to be your lawyer and it taking your billable hours from you because of all the things you did on April 1st. So yeah, commit all the crimes. Do it. Call me afterwards.
How many cases a year would you say are thrown out because they just tell the judge, Your Honor, this all took place on April 1st?
Honestly, every single one.
Every court case?
Every case in history.
Source? Trust me, bro. Every court.
O.J. Simpson, April 1st. That's why he got
Johnny
off.
Cochran, April 1st, Your Honor.
It was April Fool's Day.
Why did we waste everyone's time and even show up? You should have just led with that.
Yeah.
That's lunch.
He was showmanship, you know. He liked the cameras.
All right, well, here on the Bro 4 Squad podcast, we start every episode off with the most important thing in any bro's life, and that is Chess Day. Our Chess Day topic today continues our Movie Madness tournament for 2025. This year, the tournament we chose to put together featured was it 24 movies?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah.
24 of what we deemed the best early to mid 2000s comedies films, all pitted against each other in a bracket to determine who is the best. The bracket is linked in the description for this episode. However, the matchups, the 4 of them, which we are about to live score on the pod to determine the winners, will have been written down or advanced in that bracket. So if you don't want spoilers, I would just click in the description and it will show you the 4 matchups and the 8 movies competing against each other. And then afterwards, you can go check out the bracket and see how we got to this point in it. So tonight we have 4 matchups. The 8 remaining movies that are deemed to be the, what did we say? Excellent 8, exquisite 8. We can't get sued. So what did we end up deciding?
Anything with an E that's not elite, really.
But it's still
Fair
good.
enough.
Effervescent? Is that what he...
Yeah.
The Evanescence 8, like the band,
Yes,
from the Daredevil soundtrack. They're sponsoring the "Wake Me Up,
Wake Me." Yeah, that'd be hilarious. Was the commercial intro like it's right to the matchup? I'd be like, "Fuck!"
It
I'm
shows
pumped.
the movies. Wake me up inside. I feel like, what is happening? I'm not complaining. I'm just incredibly confused. All right, so the
13-year-old me was amped at that song, so I would be so in.
The Effervescent 8. Now, these 4 matchups featuring 8 movies are about to play out here on pod. And I'm going to be completely transparent with our audience out there. Tonight, because we have an odd number of bros scoring these, which is perfect, the criteria is literally just going to be whatever each respective bro decides to go with to score the movie they think is the best in advance. And before we dive into the first matchup, Nate Thurmond, I want to turn it over to you. You have not got the chance to join us yet in this tournament, but I kind of feel like this is your brainchild because you and I always speak glowingly about not only how strong and deep we think the early to mid aughts comedies were, but really how profound they were in terms of like forming our own comedic sensibility and sense of humors.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. And I don't even think it's like a product of like our age of when these movies came out. I mean, I feel like that has a little bit to do with it, but I think just across the board, generationally, I mean, that was just a golden era of comedies. And it's been said in media and whatever other publications that like we haven't had like that good comedy like in 10, 12, 14 years, that like standout comedy that really transcends and people gather around and talk about. There's always been some good ones, but nothing that stacks up to probably any of the ones that are in the bracket right now.
Yeah. And when Cycle and I were going through specifically the first round, I know you have to cut the tournament off obviously up to a certain number, but even at 24, we were like, damn, there's some good movies that we left out of here that maybe wouldn't have won a matchup, but definitely deserve to be talked about.
Sure.
All right, we begin with the Evanescence Wake Me Up 8. Our first matchup. These are all going to be pretty much powerhouse matchups, so I'm not going to use that superlative. But we have Tropic Thunder featuring or going up against Superbad. Nate, we will let you go first. Which of these two movies is better by whatever criteria you choose to evaluate it on?
Man, this is a tough one because I think Tropic Thunder has come around in the last 5 or 7 years as far as like the weight it carries with the comedies of that time. It's always been great and I've loved it. But I think it's aged really well. I mean, well, kind of aged well. There's some things in it you can't do now, but
it's weird though. Like Downey kind of just gets a pass for.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, you're like, oh, we're just cool with it. We're just cool with it. We're gonna let that happen.
It's Downey.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, spoilers. Superbad is going to take it from me in this. It's going to be tough to outscore that because that was one immediately latched onto. Hilarious, just the time when it came out, what age I was and we were. It was really relatable, and I mean, there's just nothing that's going to beat that for me.
All right, Superbad is up 1-0. Cycling, who gets your vote? Tropic Thunder or Superbad?
It's Superbad. I mean, overall, word for word, bar for bar, it can't not be Superbad. I mean, quotable from start to finish, perfection from start to finish. I think this one does, to Nate's point earlier about like some of these movies are just great on their own. Some of these movies kind of do hit us in terms of where we were at the age. And to give a little bit of caveat, maybe we are leaning to Superbad a little bit because we were literally the age of the characters when the movie came out. We were seniors in high school, and I'll never forget that experience watching that. And I alluded to last week, like there's things identically done in the movie that we did as friends back then.
And I'm not going to apologize for having that.
No, like I mean, the way they talk. Like every delivery is like accurate as in the ridiculousness of it all. That's what like makes Superbad such a great movie. Yeah, is it slapsticky? Is it ridiculous? Absolutely. But like we all see ourselves in that, and anytime we revisit the film, it takes us back into that like moment in time in life. The friendship dynamic, the best friends dynamic, like everything they did. I already said last week how Jeff and I would be on the phone on the way to pick up each other, and then we'd walk out of the house still on the phone until one of us got in the car. That was very real, well before we even saw the movie. And the hard part about this is Tropic Thunder is arguably, definitely probably a top 4, top 5 for me. It's Nate's point about like it's really come around. It's been very much part of modern culture, even 20 plus years later. That movie is also one of the more unique comedies we've ever gotten, right? A movie within a movie, the trailers within the movie, fantastic character writing. Like, it's a little more ridiculous in terms of overall plot, but it's just so much fun, and the absurdity of it all really carries it. Obviously, you've already alluded to Robert Downey Jr., perfect amount of Jack Black, Tom Cruise. It's just like,
McConaughey.
This is a hard
Geiger quoted McConaughey's character in that.
I think, unfortunately, Tropic Thunder takes this in a lot of other matchups.
Sure.
But Superbad is literally I think for all of us would have been considered a top seed, if not the top seed going in. So yeah, it's Superbad. I don't know if it's a clean sweep, but it's too strong.
Come on.
Yeah. So you know how last week I told you, and I don't think Nate Thurman, I think, is in the exact same boat. I told you that if there was a movie that a terrorist kidnapped my family and they said, your family's going to die unless you can pick a movie and quote 90% of the entire thing from start to finish correctly. And I said, Wedding Crashers would be my pick. I would say, I think they can live. Superbad would be pretty close up there.
Yeah.
Just as far as like it, I don't know if I've seen it most of any movie in this tournament, but it just sticks with me. Like even from like every single part of it has a quote that I remember. Like it's people don't forget.
Yeah, still quote it all the time.
Right. Or I'll give home ec another shot. Look, I'm not putting down your profession, but everyone knows home ec is a fucking joke. I'm sorry, but it's true.
Or every line from McLovin. Literally.
Exactly.
Sure.
It was either that or Muhammad. Why would it be between those two names?
And the most popular name in the world.
Read a fucking book. No, that's fine. Why does it matter how much alcohol you're getting? I don't know, man. I'm freaking out. It's a lot of shit.
So we could do this all day.
Cows Kill Limited. That's for Becca. Don't forget that. Yeah, Tropic Thunder, the meta aspect of making a movie about making a movie is incredible. And the cast, like if you go pound for pound, might be the best in this tournament. But Superbad just has just too much of a connection to me personally. And I do feel like it's a little bit more accessible. Like everyone can kind of relate to that, where it's Tropic Thunder, just as far as like the comedic. Like if you never or aren't interested in like the making of the sausage in Hollywood, it might not resonate as much with you. Or so, I mean, it honestly is taking bigger swings. Like Tom Cruise's whole character in it is a big swing, and it works for me. But some people might watch it and say no. All right, Superbad advances. Cycling, just in case it would have come down to it. Do you have the internet scores pulled up?
Yep, I do.
Okay, so who would have won if it came down to the internet between Superbad and Tropic Thunder? For the fans, I guess.
So let's see. Superbad.
I can do Tropic Thunder.
3.9. Oh yeah, if you are sure. But Superbad had 3.9 on Letterboxd. Do you want to say Tropic Thunder? Or you want me to?
Yeah, and Tropic Thunder had a 3.6 on Letterboxd, so Superbad would have won.
Close, but fair result in our opinion. Clearly, 7.6 for Superbad on IMDb.
Tropic Thunder 7.1, which being over a 7 on IMDb with a movie that has a character in blackface as a gag is pretty good.
And Rotten Tomatoes audience score 87% for Superbad.
Yeah, this is where the real gap would take place because Tropic Thunder is at 71% on Rotten Tomatoes.
So sweet by the internet, sweet by the bros.
Perfect. Yeah. All right, we got it right.
Yeah, and I think Tropic Thunder is getting a lot of pub recently too because Severance. So a Ben Stiller directed show, and people are diving into his portfolio. And this was a Ben Stiller directed movie. So people are just like kind of looking back and be like, oh, he's also done this and this.
And Tropic Thunder is a lot deeper than Severance. Let's be honest.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Much so. Yeah. Is that even
more serious?
Wrote my college thesis on it.
Yeah, that was weird. I meant to talk to you about that. We were all really. You've got an F too, so it's probably not.
Yeah, there's a reason he didn't graduate.
Didn't say it was a good
decision. Different ideas.
Right. Moving on to the second matchup, we have Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy, taking on Old School. So Will Ferrell v. Will Ferrell. We'll just go the same order. Nate, of these two, which one gets your vote for the movie that will advance into the Fantastic Four? Fuck, that's copyrighted too.
Fuckable Four. Fuckable Four.
There you go. Fuckable Four. Yeah.
Yeah. Man, again, I'm glad I wasn't on the other pod because I don't like this stress of deciding that.
It's like picking which of your favorite your kids is your favorite, and it's the one who's good at sports.
Man, this is wild. This is a fun matchup though with Will Ferrell versus Will Ferrell on this one.
Couple of characters. I mean, they're cameos, but a lot of like actors crossing over here.
I'd love his opinion on this. I wonder if he's ever talked about his favorites. This would be interesting for him.
Will Ferrell?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, Anchorman is one of those. It's probably not one of my favorite comedies ever. But it's one of those that even if it's not one that you're super in tune with, I think it's still super quotable.
Absolutely.
And I think, it plays a lot into all the one-liners that Ron Burgundy does because he's just talking to the camera, kind of obviously anchoring the show and has some floating heads and things like that. But I mean, there's a ton of quotable, memorable quotes in this that just stick with you when he's talking to Baxter. When he's trying to, I mean, we do the unique New York, how now brown cow all the time.
I'm not even mad. That's amazing.
Yeah. The Human Torch was denied a bank loan today.
And how often do we do? I don't believe you.
I don't believe you. Yes. It must be. It's the pleats in the pant. It's an optical illusion. 60% of the time, it works every time.
Every time.
So stupid.
So good.
You hear that, Ed? Bears.
I mean, yeah, it's just the ridiculousness of that one is great, and the cameos from other people and the fight scene and so on and so forth throughout the movie are great. But with that being said, I can't not go with Old School. This is kind of I think the OG of this era, and it's
started the frat pack, I believe.
Yeah, started the frat pack. I mean, it's got it's got vibes of Animal House in it, but it was just a new era, and maybe this came out before Wedding Crashers.
I believe a year and a half before.
Yeah. So even though I hold Wedding Crashers in a higher esteem, this is the one that I think got it started, and it's still just fantastic. It's one of the first ones that maybe a big rated R comedy that maybe I saw by myself, probably snuck into maybe.
That was my experience as well.
Have friends.
Yeah, it just holds. Holds such a special place in my heart because of that. So I've got very fond memories of it, and then I mean, it holds up. It's hilarious. Jeremy Piven in it is great as the straight man. Like I know, playing,
kind of like
playing against Farrell and Vince Vaughn, and yeah,
his sarcastic wit paired with Vince Vaughn's, it's like almost too much to watch on screen.
Didn't we throw you in a dumpster? Yeah, I got out.
That's good, man. That's awesome.
Good, man. Cool.
I'm sorry. When you stand up comic, is that what you do now?
This is you leaving. This is me leaving.
This is me leaving.
It's me leaving. So yeah, Old School takes it for me on this one.
All right, 1-0 Old School. Cycling. What say you?
I'll just be quick and to the point. Nate hit it on the head. This is like Old School literally set the tone for the Hott comedies. I mean, I don't think we get half of these movies without Old School. And do I think Anchorman has maybe funnier overall parts, like you alluded to, the entire fight scene, the boner scene, all of it, like everything we just quoted. The film going back to that era, the buddiness, the friendship of it all, the fact why Old School is still relatable now that we're like, in our 30s now, looking back and like moments where we want to relive those days, and when we're all together, we still act like we're that age, and maybe it's a little more painful on the body, but we still do it. It's just but it comes down to that, like whether or not I even think it is a better movie. I think it just depends on my mood. Old School literally set the tone for this whole era, so it can't not be in the final four to me. It just, I don't think, even if the tiebreaker would go to Old School, even if I considered these movies tie, I don't know if I do feel that way. I think Old School just, again, from the very beginning, just I mean, Will Ferrell is like perfect in this movie because, like, again, we always get too much Will Ferrell, or this is like literally like the balance of it being of Luke Wilson and Vince Vaughn, just like it's peak Will Ferrell, right? Like where Anchorman can be too much Will Ferrell at one point. I mean, obviously he is the main character, but yeah, the whole end scene where what the frat has to do to stay on campus.
Vince Vaughn doing the rings.
Yeah.
While he's smoking.
It's just, and this movie has a lot more heart than you would expect to. So yeah, it's Old School.
Hi, Marissa. This is Frank Ricard. Voicemail.
Andy Dick cameo in it too.
Oh yeah, that's right. Are you hurt? Yes. He thinks about it for a second. There's really nothing I can say that you guys haven't. I hate to be boring, but Old School, for me, a pretty significant victory here. Like Nate said, I also have an experience of sneaking into this in theaters, which was like a big part of my affinity for the film. It was the second DVD I ever bought after Rush Hour 2.
Oh, nice.
And I got the extra unrated version, which I believe has that scene at the frat party where they have the KY jelly wrestling match with the two chicks. There's like extra tits in it, which at the time I was like, yes, which was great. And I think Anchorman, while like you guys said, it's very quotable. I think it's funnier when we quote it than it is when I go back and rewatch it, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like,
I get that.
I remember it better that way. So Old School wins in a clean sweep 3-0. Now, Cycly, if we go to the internet votes here, these two films are incredibly close. Why don't you can you do Anchorman and I'll do Old School for how these would have played out?
Anchorman with a 3.5 on Letterboxd.
Old School with a 3.2. So 3.5 is very high on Letterboxd, especially for a comedy movie like this.
For a slapsticky comedy, yeah. Anchorman 7.1 on IMDb.
Old School 7.0.
Okay, so a little bit of
very close there.
Yeah, and 86% for Anchorman on Rotten Tomatoes audience score. That's very high.
Yeah, and 86% for
Unbelievable.
Old School on Rotten Tomatoes. So this would have literally been a 0.1 victory if it came down to it for Anchorman with the internet.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's surprising a little bit. I wonder if it's because Old School's literally older.
Could be.
And, more generations found Anchorman more accessible maybe than Old School. I don't know.
Quick question before we move on, and obviously this is not how we'll evaluate Anchorman, but do you think it makes Anchorman look better when you compare it to its sequel or worse? Because even though you shouldn't, there's sort of it's difficult to completely disconnect the two. Or do you think comparatively
you're like disconnect? I feel like I look at Dumb and Dumber and Zoolander and Anchorman, all of these movies with just atrocious sequels, and have gone on in a state of denial that they don't exist and don't impact the original. So like I don't know. I watched 20 minutes of Anchorman 2, could not do it anymore. Stopped it. And it's never changed my opinion on Anchorman. So didn't even try Zoolander 2. Dumb and Dumber 2 is the only one I made it through. And it wasn't honestly horrible. It wasn't good, but it wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. I'll say that.
Nate, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think Cyclone has a point as far as disconnecting it, but I think it makes the original look way better for sure.
Yeah, because you see how hard it is to capture lightning in a bottle like that with such a premise. All right, moving on to, spoiler alert, what in my opinion is the biggest blowout of this entire round, and that is Wedding Crashers versus School of Rock. Nate Thurmond, which of these two movies gets your vote to advance into the fuckable four? Shirts are being printed right now that say that.
I mean, we're not even going to beat around the bush on this one. It's not even close. It's Wedding Crashers. Come on.
Yes, only correct answer.
We'll just get straight to the point.
Cycling, how about you? If anyone will stand School of Rock, it would be you. But
I'll stand School of Rock as much as I can, but also School of Rock was victorious in the sense of matchups, right? These brackets are always matchup based, and it can only go so far.
Sure.
The internet absolutely loves School of Rock. It has been so well received and well loved even to this day. Again, I think the movie is fantastic when it comes to the child actors. Again, kind of like Old School, it's just the right amount of Jack Black. Thankfully, he's assisted by a fantastic cast. It is a very well written, fun, full-hearted movie. But that's about as far as it goes. It is fantastic and definitely deserved a place in this bracket and definitely deserves a place to be talked about on the Hott comedies. But that, again, it's not going to beat Anchorman in any way, shape, or form. Outside of, there's probably some nerds on the internet who thinks School of Rock is just more fun because it's nerdy.
Yeah. The cast of School of Rock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for me, Wedding Crashers is iconic. It is, I will just say, it is in my top 100 list. Let me just put it that way, to put it mildly. And I think Nate Thurman and I are in the same boat. If you watch this movie with us, you will hate us because I just reflexively can't not quote the entire thing.
No, I'll combust if I don't.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll start shaking and steam will come out of my fucking ears. So clean sweep again for Wedding Crashers. I hate to none of these have been dramatic. Maybe the last matchup will be. Cycly, if you would help me out with what the internet thought, I can do Wedding Crashers if you will do School of Rock. Because this one, again,
this will be interesting.
Coming back and forth. What they think of School of Rock on Letterboxd?
School of Rock is a 3.8 on Letterboxd, so very high.
Insanely high. Wedding Crashers with a 3.2, which just in case people aren't familiar with Letterboxd, it is probably of all the it's out of 5. And it is probably of these three between Letterboxd, IMDb, and Rotten Tomatoes, it's the stingiest. People are very harsh with their ratings on it.
And again, I think School of Rock has that like nerdiness, it's a well written movie. Like it there's a lot of like, especially on the music side of it. Like I'm not surprised that it won in Letterboxd by any means.
It's got a wider audience. I mean, kids can watch it. Yeah, so
exactly.
It's more. It's more appealing to a wider audience.
Is it rated PG?
13.
Yeah, it is 13. Okay.
Yeah, from some
written
scenes
by Mike White.
Really?
Yeah, and he plays.
I was gonna say he's in it, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's Jack Black's like friend or whatever. That's roommate.
Awesome. What about IMDb, Cycling?
IMDb has 7.2.
Yeah, and Thurman, this kind of pisses me off, but maybe you and I just live in an echo chamber. But Wedding Crashers is only a 7.0 on IMDb. Like, who doesn't like that movie?
That's some bullshit.
Yeah. All right. So, what School of Rock would have barely won internet, but what? Just to close it out, slightly, Rotten Tomatoes audience score. What I think of School of Rock.
64% for School of Rock.
And Wedding Crashers is at a 70. So, for some reason, Rotten Tomatoes is not as big a fan of School of Rock.
That's interesting. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, I would have thought Rotten Tomatoes would probably be the highest for School of Rock.
Huh.
All right, our last matchup, the last movie advancing to the Fuckable Four. We have Hott Fuzz taking on Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Nate, I think I know where you're going to go here, but which of these two movies get your vote to advance?
Yeah, one of these movies I've seen once, and it was fine. Yeah, so you already know which direction I'm going with this. Yeah, Forgetting Sarah Marshall is going to take this one for me. Honestly, Hot Fuzz, like I watched it, I thought it was funny. For me, kind of forgettable. I don't know. I don't really remember much about it. I remember seeing it.
You could argue it's not even the best Simon Pegg, Nick Frost movie that was in this tournament if you're more of a Shaun of the Dead fan.
Yeah. But yeah, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. This is just great. Jason Segel, Kristen Bell is smoking hot in it. And you get, I love it when you get music in movies that then go viral in real life.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times we listened to some of the Aldous Snow songs driving
Inside
around
of You
campus. Yeah, inside of you, inside of you.
And then all the songs from his like Muppet or Van Helsing puppet musical.
Oh my God, so good. Yeah, such a fun.
Peter,
weird,
you suck.
Fun, weird, like side plot thread that then turns into a real thing in the movie. But yeah, it's great. Get a little bit of Paul Rudd on the side doing his goofy bits.
Who knew?
Yeah, Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Also, good on Jason Segel to write a film where two women are fighting over him, played by Kristen Bell and Mila Kunis.
Oops. Yeah.
Oh no. All right, so Forgetting Sarah Marshall up 1-0. Cycling, which of these two movies get your vote to advance?
I know where you're going with this, so I'm just for the sake of 4 non-clean sweeps. Like we can't have 4 clean sweeps. This is just the lawyer in me. Just gotta have some differential. I will go with Shaun of the Dead, merely to state that there's a certain one. I'll say is carrying the banner for a certain.
You mean Hot Fuzz? Sorry.
Hot Fuzz.
You're going way off script.
Well, you know.
It's like a wrestling match. Oh my God! Shaun of the Dead has shown up and is knocked out.
We should have had that, like out of nowhere. Come on.
It comes out of the rafters. What the hell?
I feel like Hot Fuzz can carry the banner for a certain genre of comedy that wouldn't be represented if it doesn't advance here in the top 4. Merely like, again, the dry, a lot of movies like this, but not as like, probably huge in the public that we're talking about with like the Old Schools and Wedding Crashers. But there was this side of comedy that made a comeback in the 2000s, thanks to Simon Pegg and all of them. So Hot Fuzz is one of those movies that, like, yeah, I agree with Nate. Maybe it's not as memorable, but it's one of those movies that you watch. The comedy is so subtle, and the more you actually watch it, and the more like you pay attention, how like brilliant the comedy is, and like how like just like really like just the storyline on top of the humor, and you don't know which one's better, and it's just such a fun experience watching it literally has a little bit of everything with the action, the comedy, the drama, the fear part of it. Has the buddy cop going on, this idyllic British town with everything that's going on underneath. There's so many layers to Hot Fuzz that's what I'm like. It's probably the smartest movie left by far in the top 8.
Only smart movie left, yeah.
Yeah, probably the only smart movie left. So it definitely deserved a place here. I probably know it's a losing battle. It's not going to beat Forgetting Sarah Marshall, but it definitely deserves a vote.
Yeah, and I'm glad it's in the tournament. Just to tie this into our top 100 list, Cycly, you had Hot Fuzz at number 62 and Forgetting Sarah Marshall at 80. So it's good that you held true there.
I am consistent, bitches. What's up?
Wow. The crazy
no one can
thing,
claim anything else.
I didn't remember this, but you and I both had Forgetting Sarah Marshall as our number 80 movie of all time.
That's right. That was the first. Yeah, that was wild.
Which is pretty wild to do. Yeah, I'll echo most of what Nate said. I got to go with Forgetting Sarah Marshall for this. I remember distinctly in college, Nate Thurman, myself, and a couple of our other friends went to go see this in theaters, and it was like one of those great moments where like the theatrical experience really adds to the film because everyone in that theater was laughing out loud. So much so that you would actually miss some of the jokes because people were laughing so hard.
Sure. Yeah.
And then, the musical aspect of it just plays great. And for me, this was really the first time I ever saw Jason Segel in anything. I didn't watch Freaks and Geeks. I don't think if How I Met Your Mother had started, I hadn't gotten into the show yet.
Yeah.
And I think Knocked Up, he's not in no, he's in This Is 40. Yeah, so I probably wouldn't have seen him in anything. So this was my introduction to him. And it's just kind of unique. It's like they get away to Hawaii, and it's like sort of like a movie where there's a bunch of ancillary characters that all really contribute to the film. Like Jason Segel, you could definitely say is not the funniest character in the movie, which is one of its strengths. So I will go Forgetting Sarah Marshall. And Cycly, what would the internet have said here?
And really quickly, we don't get the Muppets without this movie. So that's it really
true.
It's so much better for that. The highest rated Letterboxd score in the entire top 16, by the way, goes to Hot Fuzz at 4.1.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the second highest was Shaun of the Dead at 4.0. So people love the Cornetto trilogy. Forgetting Sarah Marshall is a 3.3 on Letterboxd out of 5, which is still a pretty good score. So even though it gets destroyed by Hot Fuzz, it's not to be embarrassed there.
IMDb, the highest scoring IMDb score out of our top 16 goes to Hot Fuzz. I'm sorry. Second highest, 7.8 to 7.9, Shaun of the Dead. So both top, again, same family.
Yeah, and Forgetting Sarah Marshall with a 7.1. So still a good score, but again, not close to competing with Hot Fuzz at the internet.
Yep. And the third highest of the Rotten Tomato scores, second only to, once again, Hot Fuzz. And this time Super Troopers, very interesting, is Hot Fuzz at 89%.
Which is wild. I mean, that's a really good score. Forgetting Sarah Marshall's at 76, which is also very good on Rotten
I feel
Tomatoes.
very vindicated by picking Shaun of the Dead. So clearly, I am the voice of the internet.
Shaun
the Brits.
I got it. Hot Fuzz.
Yeah, it's like saying your ex-girlfriend's name to your current
over and over again.
Same, but different. Same, but different.
Babe, I didn't mean it like that. All right, well, Forgetting Sarah Marshall advances. So these are our final 4 matchups. We'll have Superbad versus Old School and Wedding Crashers versus Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Man, those are going to be fucking tough. Those are going to be tough. That will advance to the fuckable 4. All right, we move on to the next part of our show, which is our protein shake, also known as What's in Our Cup? What have we watched lately? How about we each do one thing that we've seen recently?
Okay.
Cycly,
we'll start with you.
Yeah, good. Well, there's a couple things I'm holding off on. So, finishing a couple of shows right now. And then I was going to give Severance a few more weeks so I don't spoil anything there. So I'm going to go to Disney's Mufasa, the Lion King.
Ooh, okay.
Have either of you watched it?
No, I have not. I think Banner has, though.
I don't know if you guys care about spoilers here.
I don't. And it's weird because obviously I love the OG Lion King. I cannot tell you how apathetic I was about hearing
Same. I've been very boring of late. Like just been sitting around, and I was like, oh, well, you know what? This is on Disney, and I was never gonna go to theater for this. So like, I'm on. It's an hour and a half or an hour 55 minutes. Way too long, actually. Yeah, almost 2 hours.
Gotta chill with
It's
that shit, man.
fine. Like, yeah, it's fine. You know, the songs aren't half as bad as I expected them to be with Lin-Manuel Miranda doing them. They're pretty good. Here's the thing. One, we didn't need this movie by any means. Two, the retconning that it does to the original story
That's
is
what I've
really
heard.
frustrating.
It really
Oh,
fucks
really?
up the
And
Lion King, yeah.
and it's just like, so they take one, they show us things we don't need, right? Like that's what all of these prequel type movies show us.
Like
Like
Scar's
acting like
penis.
yeah. Well, I know we didn't need to see that. Like that was
It served the story.
No one needs, again, spoilers. If you care about Mufasa the Lion King, fast forward here another minute. But if you guys don't care, like we didn't. Earthquake created Pride Rock. Like we don't need to see all of this. There you go. Nathan's down. Nope, he's back.
I'm kidding.
Like it's just like one, it retcons the whole Mufasa story. Like he's not a son of a line of kings. There was no tradition that was honored from the original Lion King.
Yeah, that blew
like
my mind.
everything. Yeah, like everything is literally that we're seeing for the first time. Like that Simba. Like everything's fake. So like Simba's the first one going through this whole process. So it's like they allude to Mufasa being from this lineage. Like, hey, look up the stars, my father.
So Scar really gets fucked because they just like made this up over.
Scar absolutely gets Mufasa's life as like an orphan. Scar brings him into his family. Now Scar does turn on him and betray him, but at the end of the movie, Scar feels bad about what he did. Then he saves Mufasa's life, and Mufasa at the end decides, "Hey, I'll never forgive you, and I'm never going to call you your name again. Your name is now Scar, and I'm the king."
Dude,
and that's how it
fuck
ends.
Mufasa.
And it's like Mufasa, like, shouldn't the movie be about like, I don't know. This is a kid's movie. Forgiveness and like grow with like Simba. Like, Scar literally made a mistake, admitted that, and then saved Mufasa's life, and then was shunned and called a fake name forever. Like he didn't have the name Scar. His name was Taka in the whole movie. So it's like it just devalues. Like that's how I feel about most of these prequels. It's just like Star Wars 2. It devalues the original story. And it's like, you know, it doesn't have, Mufasa wasn't this iconic. I mean, he's iconic, but like it just makes the original Lion King
an iconic dick.
Yeah. So if you have nothing to do, it's fine as a movie, but I don't think you're missing anything by not watching this.
So episode 130 of the Broforce Squad podcast, we did an In Defense of Villains for Scar from the Lion King. I almost think we need to revisit that.
Oh my gosh.
This changes things.
Yeah, it's like having a new trial once you get new evidence. Like we could probably create an even stronger case now that we have Mufasa and the Lion King.
Yeah, it's I felt bad for Scar at the end of it. Like genuinely, even the whole movie you're seeing why he's getting jealous of Mufasa, even though he did all these things for him.
And then the entire reason he's not king in the Lion King, you're like, well, dude, you can't really complain. This is a centuries old tradition.
Yeah,
apparently it's not.
You think Mufasa's the older brother? He even alludes to that in the original Lion King. My older brother, I should have been first in line. Like blah blah blah. But no, it's like, yeah.
I'm pissed.
It's whatever. I don't think I'll remember this movie. The one thing I'll give it credit for is it's much better this time around than when they did the quote unquote, live action Lion King, which is not fucking live action, it's CGI, so don't tell me it's live action. This one was much better on the animal construction of their emotions. Like the live action Lion King was so dull and boring with the characters. Animation, and so this one was much better, so I will give them credit for that. It was more enjoyable in that sense. Young Rafiki was probably the best part of the movie.
I bet young Rafiki was fucking wild partier.
Yeah, it was high as fuck.
All right, that was like on my peripheral of my might watch, but no, it'll just make me angry.
Yeah, probably not.
All right, Nate, what have you seen lately?
If we're just talking about one thing, do you want to talk about our crossover thing or something different?
I mean, I can do that one if you have something else you want to share. Otherwise, yeah, we can.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then I'll do something different. Then we'll talk about that at the end. Although I know I'm pretty sure you watch this as well. I don't know if Cycly does, but we've been running through Shrinking. So I think we're like 2 or 3 episodes left in season 2. But my God, this is turning into one of my favorite TV shows.
Right?
Like, it's fantastic.
So
like, all the characters have like their own individual identity, and it comes together so well.
The way they interact and like roast each other feels so authentic.
It does, and that may be what it is. Like, man, all the characters, like you can relate to them. They feel real. Derek is maybe one of the funniest ones on there.
I love Derek.
I fucking love
hilarious.
Derek. He just lives his life. He's
middle-aged goals.
Carefree, just retired.
You think he's stupid at first, and then you realize, like, no, he's not. He's just like,
he's just going
stress
with the
about
flow.
anything.
Yeah, he just doesn't. Exactly. He's not going to stress about it. So he's just going to say fuck it, basically, and have a good time.
I want to drink a beer with Derek.
Oh, well, I want to drink several beers with him. There's obviously, I think, Horns, I think you told me this going into it. Like, season 2 gets into heavier stuff. Honestly, with all the characters, which is, it's nice because you get a little more depth in it. But man, this show is so fucking good. I can't wait to finish this season and then for season 3 to come out.
Have you gotten to the episode yet where Kobe Smulders and Jason Segel are?
No, I haven't got there yet.
Sorry if that was a spoiler, but
no. It's funny because I saw like a clip on Instagram or something. She's like selling her car or something. I saw it like
and he's like buying it for his daughter. So it's just kind of like that makes sense. It's just like cool to see them on screen together again.
That makes sense. Harrison Ford, and this is awesome. I mean, like I said, all the characters, every single one. I don't have a problem with anything. It's so great.
And it just works on like both the comedic level and the dramatic level. It like really picks and chooses when it wants to like get serious with the drama. And it's just done really well because, like you said, you care about the characters and it doesn't feel like anything's too heavy-handed, I feel like.
No. Yeah, man, it's so well done. I'm really enjoying it.
But whoever the writers are, I would love to like go hang out with them and their friends because you can tell that the dialogue between the characters is clearly based on like how they talk to their friends in their real life. Like, just roasting each other constantly. Like everything is a roast, basically.
It has to be.
Just makes me like realize how Bill Lawrence in general, like all of his shows, between Scrubs, Ted Lasso.
Yeah, has he had a miss?
It's like
has he had a show that like
watched Cougar Town, but I've heard great things too.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I've heard actually it's a big satire. Like people loved it too. But he just has such a way with comedy and then gut wrenching drama. Like immediately, like he's able to pull the rug out from you so quickly. It's just like, man, yeah, it's one of the best written shows on right now.
There is sort of like a between Bill Lawrence, his wife Krista Miller, who does she play in?
Oh, that's his wife.
Yeah, so he puts her in everything.
She's in like everything he records.
Because she was in Cougar Town also, and obviously
Scrubs and this,
So it's like a Paul Feig, Melissa McCarthy thing where he's like, I'm gonna put my wife in everything. I mean, she's a good actress. Yeah, or like a Judd Apatow, Leslie Mann situation.
There's a podcast, Best True Friends, Fake Doctors, with Zach Braff and
Faison,
the actor who plays Turk. Faison. And they talk about how they joke with Bill Lawrence that he has like a fetish of watching his wife like hook up with other guys. Like they would all, like there's scenes in Scrubs where they would have her do like really sexy things like to like Zach's character or whatever. They're like, I think Bill Lawrence really like enjoyed that. He kept writing these in. Yeah.
This we don't even need to film. I just want to do it. Like, well, that's not how this works at all.
Sorry, this just popped in my head. That and then earlier mentioning Segel with Kristen Bell and Mila Kunis. It always reminds me of Quentin Tarantino and like what was the vampire movie? Yeah, well he writes this in.
Oh, from Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, from Dusk Till Dawn, where he has
foot stuff.
Yeah, he had, what's the woman's name in it?
Selma Hayek.
Selma Hayek. He has Selma Hayek put her toes in his mouth in the movie. I'm like, oh, you wrote this, didn't you? Huh, weird.
Yep. How interesting.
Yeah, he's got a
like
weird.
Notoriously a foot guy.
I watched Kill Bill for the first time a little while ago. I put it in a squad blog, and I literally had to look away because there's a scene where he just will not stop lingering on Uma Thurman's toes, and I was like, I'm uncomfortable.
He is.
I like fast forwarded 30 seconds. I was like, dude.
They say right with love, you know.
Yeah. Sorry, it's my passion. Some people
Anyway,
like fishing.
sorry for that side segue there. Anyway,
Nate, skip ahead 30 seconds for a minor spoiler for Shrinking, but I don't think this is a spoiler for you. Did I tell you that? And I think Cycle actually told me this. Season 3 of Shrinking, they've announced Jeff Daniels got cast as
we talked about that. That's awesome.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Which maybe one of you guys know, because I don't remember them mentioning at all Jason Segel's dad or his relationship with his dad.
Not that I recall.
So it's funny. There's like one throwaway comment, and it was probably like an episode or two ago. So it was like mid season 2. They say he's like talking to his daughter or something, and he says something about maybe like referring like to a parent being dead, and someone says like your dad's not dead, and that's like it. But other than that, no,
I do kind of remember that.
Yeah, I can't even remember the context, but we had talked about that for season 3, and so I picked up on that. I was like, huh, interesting.
Yeah. Okay, last thing I got, Nate, you and I share this. Paradise on Hulu. Season 1 just ended. This show, I saw the trailer for it. I was like casually interested. The plot centers around the president gets assassinated, and president played by James Marsden, go Pokes. Mm-hmm. And Sterling K. Brown is he the head of the Secret Service?
Yeah, basically.
So it kind of follows. He is at first implicated as a possible suspect, but then it kind of goes through with a massive, massive twist at the end of episode 1. It goes through him sort of trying to investigate who could have killed the president and why. And then Sterling K. Brown's character, Xavier, also has a very complicated backstory with the president himself, who he's tasked with protecting. So, Nate, I don't know if we just want to go full spoilers here, but you and I both were concurrently watching this and then realized the other one was. And this was similar to how Day of the Jackal was. Like, I was counting down the hours until the new episode would drop.
Oh, I know.
For the next one.
That's actually a good comparison because, I was the same way with, Day of the Jackal. I just binged it in like a day and a half, but
I ate that thing up.
God, it's so good.
It won Best TV Show last year for the Oscars.
Yeah.
And Paradise is nominated next year.
Boom. I mean, we can go either way as if we want to do spoilers or not. But just my at first blush on this one, like you see the trailer or anything about it, and you think it may be like some political TV show or something along those lines, but it's so much more than that. Because that's the first thought I had, because there's president, Secret Service, and all this stuff is involved. But I mean, the main thing, and this is what I tell people when I talk about Paradise, it's about power struggles mainly. It's about who has power over someone else, and
people who will do anything to keep power, basically.
And exactly, and what they'll do to keep it, and the secrets they're hiding, because there's a lot of them. But I thought this is really well done. There's a lot of twists and turns in this one, and people you think are in charge turn out to not maybe be in charge.
And this is one of those shows where I feel like, what was it, 8 episodes?
Yeah, I think so.
And they somehow managed to, at the end of each episode, drop, like, there was like a pretty big cliffhanger to end each episode. And the twist at the end of episode 1 is about as massive a twist as you can throw out there. And I could definitely see some people being like, oh, well, that's not the show that I was sold, that I was advertised. And I kind of thought that for a second, but then I was like, you know what? This is actually fucking cooler than what I thought I was getting myself into. So not only am I okay with it, I'm actually more interested now than I was to start.
Yeah, it goes in a completely different direction than I think most people thought watching 90% of the first episode. But I was completely cool with that because I liked where it went. And then episode 4 was probably my favorite episode of the season, honestly. And it's when someone dies at the end of it, like at the very end of it, someone dies,
right?
And is killed by someone close to them. That's what I'll say. It'll probably piss you off because it pissed me off, and I was like, "What in the fuck?"
Yes.
But there's some good dialogue in it, and man, it takes some twists at the end that I did not see coming. But it kind of pulls at your heartstrings in that one, in episode 4 too, because you're really starting to develop feelings and connections to some of the characters, and then things happen to them. So
I will also say one of the most fucked up incorporations of the Nintendo Switch I've ever seen in my life as well.
Yeah, weird stuff.
Weird stuff. Which is an interesting dynamic. Last thing I'll say, Nate, the premise I believe, I don't know if you told me this or if I read it, but the creators said that they have kind of a 3-season arc planned for this. And season 2, based on where season 1 ends, is going to be a completely different setting from season 1. What are your thoughts on where this could go in season 2? I mean, we know like where it's going, but obviously the dynamic of the show is going to shift drastically.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, I'm not going to give any spoilers since we've talked for 5 minutes without giving any so far. But where season 2 is going, it gives me vibes of other shows that I've seen. I won't say, and I'm sure you can maybe speculate on your own of shows you've seen and like what it's going to be like or what the theme is going to be like. But yeah, I'm interested to see. I'll just say there's going to be 2 main settings. I'm interested to see how they split time between those, and who is going on this journey.
It's basically going to be like 2 shows running concurrently.
I think, yeah, it could turn in that way. So I think it'd be fun to just add a new dynamic to it. Maybe halfway through the first season, you kind of saw where it was going, and this was kind of a logical next step. So I'm not saying I saw it coming, but it just makes sense.
Yeah. Also, last thing I'll say, great incorporation of music in this show. There are a lot of like ballad remixes of like banger songs at the end of like each episode. Yeah, it was just songs. Like a really cool use of, and the music actually serves a lot of like plot purposes as well.
Yeah,
because like making mix CDs actually has kind of a bit of a narrative like focus in it, which is interesting.
Yeah.
All right, last part of our show, question and answer segment. Do you even lift? Bruh. Banner's not here to do his parakeet impersonation. Sometimes Cycly fills in, but it's never the same. Yes, offense. No. Sorry. I suck. I suck.
God, I'm sorry, guys.
When you do interview Cycly and they say like, what are your weaknesses? Do you say like doing parrot impersonations?
Yeah, absolutely. Number one. Actually, it's at the top of my resume. They ask, what's your weakness?
They appreciate the transparency, but it's probably cost you a lot of jobs.
In fairness. I wouldn't hire me for that.
No. All right. So our top 100 list, guys, if you check the description of this episode, we've linked it. The 5 bros are counting down our top 100 movies of all time. Nate, we'll just have you do your number 32 movie today. Before we get into that, though, Cycly, why don't you tell the people at home, what are these top 100 lists? Because as we always say, this is not like the IMDb or the American Film Institute's top 100 greatest pieces of cinema of all time. It has a little bit of a unique spin to the bros.
Yeah. It's a list for you. It's not necessarily what you think are the greatest pieces of art you've ever seen or the greatest films. It's literally what movies have impacted you in your life for good or for bad, times that were difficult that cheered you up. There's no excuse movies that carried with you as a child that, you know, we all can make fun of you for liking, but for some reason it stuck with you forever. So it is literally your favorite movies, not your best movies, your favorite movies. And it's one of the activities that we think everyone should do. It's really fun to revisit and go back and watch or think about all the movies you've seen over your life and how they've impacted you.
Very well said. And I think where we pick up with our list today is a great testament as to how unique each of these lists are to the specific bros. So we're going to do Nate's number 32 or 32nd favorite movie of all time. It'll be right ahead of course, his number 33, which was Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. And the other bros' number 33 movies, Cycle, you had Fight Club. Banner had Deep Blue Sea. That's his number 33 movie of all time.
Banner has his own list going, guys. Let's just.
And I had Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. So Nate's number 32 will join my number 32, which was John Wick. Banner's was The Dark Knight, and Cycly's yours was Pulp Fiction. So. Nate, we're getting into heavy shit here. You got Pulp Fiction, The Dark Knight, and John Wick. Who on your list will join them at number 32?
Coming in number 32 for me is Happy Gilmore.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. So yeah, this was like, yeah, right, yeah, exactly. Right in the heyday of Adam Sandler when he was putting out some pretty good shit in the mid 90s. And honestly, even though you have Billy Madison in there and some others. Like this is the standout for me. I mean,
This is the best
obviously,
movie, I think.
yeah, a huge golfer, but I even think it transcends that. Like even people who aren't like really big into golf, they still know this movie. They still can quote this. Um, it checks all the boxes for me. It's one of the, I mean, it's probably one of my top, I don't know, or just looking at my list, 8 comedies maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I
Just
feel
looking
like
at
you have a
that.
lot of comedies left to go.
I
Like
do.
your top 30
Yeah.
is gonna be heavy comedy.
I've got a few. But yeah. And then you get, I mean, first introduction to Julie Bowen, I think,
Yeah.
for me. Carl Weathers in it is a nice breath of fresh air in there as Chubbs. It's kind of funny him playing against Adam Sandler. They're back and forth throughout the whole movie. And then you get the funny cameos with Bob Barker in it. I mean, honestly, one of the more iconic cameos in any movie. And then you get
the price is
line,
wrong.
The price is wrong, bitch.
Bitch.
Yeah. And
Lee Trevino just shaking his head.
Yeah. Lee Trevino, which is funny. You seeing like an actual golfer in it, and topical, like Ronnie was saying, coming up on Happy Gilmore 2. Now there's going to be a ton of PGA pros in this next movie, and I don't know. I'm holding my breath to see if they do it right or if it's like oversaturated because what they're trying to do. I don't know. It's going to be tough. But with this being number 32, it's obviously going to be tough to hold up to my standards for Happy Gilmore 2. So we'll see how it works out.
The trailer, I will say, looked really good. I was kind of surprised. Like, I was very pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Some great quotes here too. Like, you eat pieces of shit for breakfast.
No, that's not.
No,
no.
I'm gonna go eat some hay by the bay. I just may.
Yeah. And I think this honestly did a good job of growing the game of golf at the time too, and making it a little more accessible to people and things like that. Even though the way it was accessible to Happy Gilmore and this was completely ridiculous.
Correct. But another point. Who hasn't done the Happy Gilmore at the golf course? Like, we're trying to run up on your tee shot.
Yeah, anyone who's picked up a golf club now has want to try it once. You'll see videos of pros doing it just to do it. But yeah, the trick is just taking like 1 or 2 steps because a lot of people try and run into it too hard.
Not gonna work.
No, not just a couple steps and that's it.
Him throwing all those big checks in the back of his car is fucking hilarious too.
Just load them up. Got to keep grandma's house.
Happy Gilmore I'm the only other bro that's had it on their list so far. It came in at number 75 on my list.
Well, fuck everyone else on the pod.
That I've always said that, so that's not anything new. Yeah.
Got it tattooed on its ass.
I'll be honest, unless it's on Geiger's, I don't think it's going to be on Banners or Cyclists list coming up.
Yeah.
Don't assume. I mean, you're right, but don't.
I was going to say, I'm not changing my list right now to add it.
Got to make some edits.
Yeah. All right. Great stuff tonight. Before we let the people go for episode 241, let's give me last words of wisdom. Cycler, are we going to go with the usual from you, your traffic guidance to people?
Why change it up? America's listening, right? Like, get out of the
Are
left
they? I feel like
lane.
it gets worse every week.
It's one of the night is darkest just before the dawn. Okay, like it gets worse before it gets better. Get out.
I bet we use that quote on every episode from The Dark Knight.
So, and I love the fact that that's actually not true. It is not darkest just before the dawn. It's actually darkest about halfway through night. So, but
makes sense.
Get the fuck out of the left lane. Can you or if you're in the left lane, just go faster than the car.
Or speed up.
It's that simple. That simple.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Nate, how about you?
Let's as a society, mainly outside of the workforce, let's tone it back on acronyms a little bit. I think we're over acronymed as a society, and in the workplace, I get it. Like, there's a ton of things you're talking about. You want to make it short and sweet, and there's that lingo that you got to talk. But everyone in the business knows it. Outside of people will be texting and like throwing acronyms out. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't stop abbreviating stuff. Just tell me. I don't want to have to decode text messages all the time.
We should have an acronym for stopping acronyms.
That's a great idea.
That way, anytime anyone sends you an acronym, you send back that acronym.
And be like, you don't like it, do you? Because I just fucking made that up. Yeah. It's pretentious. It's not saving any time. And no one wants to ask you what that acronym means.
No, and this may be like an old man sitting on his porch argument, but if it is, that it is what it is at this point. I can accept that. I know people want convenience and are trying to be quick in text and things like that, but if I don't want to stare at a text for 20 seconds and try and figure out what you're saying, just tell me.
Yeah, at that point, you've defeated the purpose of shortening whatever you were trying to say, because I don't know what the fuck it means.
I'm going to start writing laugh out loud in every text I ever.
Like, there's some exceptions, obviously, like LOL, cool. That's ingrained in society now. We know what that one is, but
WTF, what the face?
Going through Reddit, too, not just text, like going through Reddit, people will put like, I can't even think of one right now, but I'll have to like Google it. Reddit's like, what is this? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, Reddit's the worst offender of this.
Yeah, but yeah, let's chill back on the acronyms. It's confusing.
Good advice. I will end with guys in these neighborhood groups, social media groups, whether it's like Facebook, Nextdoor, the Ring app. Maybe just leave some things in drafts. Okay, I don't care that you saw a squirrel or a jackal in your backyard.
It's a jackal.
A jackal? Jackal?
Is it a jackal? The most common one now is people will ask, does anyone know why there are cop cars at whatever location? And now, just because I'm answering their question directly, I will just go respond, yes. Someone knows.
Yeah, I'm sure. The cops know.
I would guarantee you someone knows why there are police cars there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
question
just be
answered.
Be cognizant.
Very literal.
Neighborhood groups, what you're writing, because there's some really stupid shit people put in there. And 4th of July is, I mean, obviously we're like several months away, but that's the best time for this. Like, did you hear fireworks? Yes, Karen. I heard fireworks. Thank you for checking with everyone in the neighborhood if we heard.
I prefer everyone gaslight her and everyone just says no.
I thought they were gunshots.
I think the Latin Kings and the Crips are having a shootout on our street. Oh my God.
That's funny.
All right, for our legal counsel, Ronnie Cycli, and the American hero, Nate Thurman, I'm the Mayor, Jeff Hornacek. We are the Bro4 Squad podcast. Thank you guys so much for checking us out. Follow us on Twitter, Threads, Instagram, @Bro4 Squad. Type in Bro, Force, Squad as 3 separate words on Letterboxd, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. We're all over there. You can find all of our old episodes and also on our website, bro4squad.com. Everything we've ever posted. Till next time, we'll see you in the left lane. Just going like probably 45 miles an hour.
Get out of here, Jeff.